Hi everyone. Today I will discuss on a topic called industrial grievance and its handling management. It is also a question which was come in your previous year mark out semester exam. So it is a very important topic itself. Now, what is a grievance and how it is created in today's scenario in different industry and organization? It is our present topic. So the topic which we'll discuss today are meaning of grievance, causes of grievance, effect of grievance, grievance measurement, grievance redressal machinery, grievance interview, grievance management, its meaning. Obviously, grievance management topic is a very vast topic and we could not complete this topic in one class. So therefore, we only start about or you only talk about meaning of grievance management or handling management for today's purpose. In our next class, I will talk about some other principles of grievance management. So, what is grievance? In an organization, people are employed from different area of the country, as we know elsewhere. Obviously, they have different mentality, different belief, and are belongs to different classes. Therefore, conflict or disagreement often occur between employees and organization regarding employment condition and many other issues when they work together. Such conflicts result in dissatisfaction or sense of injustice in employees. The grievance may be genuine or imaginary on the part of the employee, but it produces low moral, frustration, and discontentment. In this video, we will discuss the causes which are generally present behind a grievance or indiscipline occasion. So, from the above discussion, we can say that the causes of grievance are promotion, demotion, and discharge policy. This will be the first cause of grievance. Under this scenario, inequality or inadequacy on the part of the employee in terms of job performance, attitude, and capability will be seen. It happens when an employee finds it difficult to meet job requirements standard following his promotion. The next cause will be the leave or overtime policies. If your employer can reduce your work hour to avoid paying overtime provided you are compensated for all hours actually worked. For example, it would be unlawful to require you to clock out early but still mandate that you work without compensation. This may create grievance. The third cause will be improper placement or wage payment. Employees may demand for individual wage adjustment. They may feel that they are paid less when compared to others. For example, late bonus payment adjustment to overtime pay, perceived inequality in treatment, claim for equal pay, and appeal against performance related pay award. Unscheduled changes. Any change in the organizational policy can result in grievance. For example, the implementation of revised company policy or new working practice. Lack of excess discipline. No employer wants to go through a discipline and grievance process. They are time consuming, potentially costly, and can damage employee relation and reputation as well as the bank balance. However, many employees find themselves having to deal with these issues at some point. Poor working relationship between line manager and employees are the main cause of workplace dispute. Three quarters of the 197 organizations survived had dealt with bullying and harassment claim, and almost 40% had dealt with the pay grievance. Seniority or transfer policies. First, you should know the transfer policy. Policy transfer is a process in which knowledge about policies, administrative arrangement, institution and ideas in one political setting, past or present, is used in the development of policies, administrative arrangement, institution and ideas in another political setting. Such a policy must be based on the following principle. The principles are: transfer policy must be in writing and be made known to all the employees to the organization. The policy must very clearly specify the type and the circumstances under which company initiated the transfer will be made. Basis of the transfer should be clearly mentioned in the policy, whether it will be based seniority or on the skill and the competency or any other factors. It should indicate the executives who will be responsible for initiating and approving the transfer. The policy should specially the region or unit of organization within which transfer will be administered. The effect of transfer on the pay and seniority of the transfer employee may be clearly evaluated. It should be prescribed in the policy whether the training or retraining is required on the new job. Transfer should be clearly defined as temporary or permanent. The interests of the organization are not to be forgotten in framing a policy of transfer. Reason for the mutual transfer of employees or reason to be considered for the personal transfer should be specified. The fact of the transfer should be intimated to the person concerned well in advance. Transfer should not be made frequent and not for the sake of transfer only. If these all principles are not maintained properly, then the grievance may occur among the employee. Another cause of grievance is unfavorable working condition, insufficient ventilation, non-availability of tools, machine or equipment. It may be undesirable or unsatisfactory condition of work, for example, lights, space, heat, or poor physical condition of workplace. Defective tools and equipment, poor quality of material, unfair rules, and lack of recognition. Violation of organization's rule. An individual grievance is a complaint that an action by management has violated the rights of an individual as set out in the collective agreement or law, or by some unfair practice. Example of these type of grievance include discipline, demotion, classification dispute, denial of benefit, etc. There may be issues relating to certain violation in respect of promotion, safety method, transfer, disciplinary rules, fines, granting leaves, medical facility, etc. They are acting on the following field of management, such as management's hostility towards labor union, dissatisfaction, supervision style, violation of central or state law, violation of past party practices of the organization, inadequate safety, health, and welfare amenities. So, Till now, we are talking about grievance and its cause. Now, we are talking about the effect of grievance or any disciplinary procedure. Whatever may be the cause of grievance, the effect it has on the organization's working atmosphere are always adverse. So, the effects are the production level of the organization may be declined due to lack of encouragement or lack of uh, enthusiasm of among the employee. Conflict, disagreement, and dissatisfaction among the employee. Strike or lockout in extreme condition. Poor performance due to lack of interest in work. Increase in unrest and indiscipline. Increase in absenteeism. Wastage of resources. Increase in production cost. Increase in resignation of employees. So, considering the adverse effect of grievance, it is obviously in the interest of the management to aim for zero grievance rate in the organization. To ensure high productivity, management needs to maintain a work environment where the employees have cordial and harmonious relations with the management. To ensure good industrial relation, the grievance need to be identified and then redressed. Our next topic is grievance measurement. There are four main ways of discovering grievance in order to nip the evil in the bud. The first one will be suggestion boxes. Employees are encouraged to bring to the mind of management their complaint and suggestion. They are directed to do so without signing their complaint in order to reduce their insecurity or fear of being ridiculed or punished. The second one will be the open door policy. Most practical only in case of small organization. This policy encourages the employees to approach the management directly in case they have a grievance. Due to lack of time for such hearings, this method is not very practical for the large organization. Exit interview. The employees quitting the organization due to better prospect elsewhere or any grievance are interviewed in order to gain information about the reason for leaving the organization. Opinion survey. Through periodical interviews and group discussion, vital information can be gathered about employees' dissatisfaction. By using these four tools, employees' dissatisfaction is discovered and not given the incubation period for developing into a grievance. Despite all efforts made by management of an organization, employee dissatisfaction sometimes does turn into a grievance. In that case, it needs to be redressed as soon as possible because refusal to recognize the existence of a grievance or faulty handling of a grievance can have serious adverse effects like violence, strike, lockout, damage of industrial equipment and property. In every industrial organization employing more than 500 employees, it is mandatory to appoint labor welfare officer under the provision of Factories Act 1948. However, according to this act, the welfare officer may have little scope in area of welfare, safety and working condition. Hence, there is need for its amendment to empower the welfare officer while handling grievance. So, the aim of any organization is to minimize its grievance and settle all type of conflict related to that. For that, we have to use grievance redressal machinery. Every management should have a well-defined in-house grievance redressal machinery for time-bound redressal of grievance. Only then the management can ensure the achievement of organizational objective of high productivity and high quality. Grievance redressal mechanism actually give the employees an opportunity to express their dissatisfaction and free themselves of the tension and frustration of discontentment. Any management with a progressive outlook that does not believe in the philosophy of autocratic management of employees is likely to have some sort of grievance redressal machinery for fair, open minded, prompt action on grievance. Another one is very relevant related to this topic, which is grievance interview. Grievance interview is an important cog in the grievance machinery. It involves a personal interview with the grievance or with the grievant. The interviewer talks to the aggressive employee, listen carefully and protectively and protect them and tries to grasp the concealed feeling of the grievant. The interviewer empathizes with the employee to gain his confidence and gently encourage him to express his fear and apprehension about his grievance. The grievance interview is informal and unstructured. It is employees driven, where most of the talking is done by the aggressive employee and the interviewer retains from interrupting or expressing his own opinion or any aspect of the grievance. From the interview, the interviewer tries to identify the main issue and make the problem more explicit and clear. Then he places his interpretation of the problem in front of aggressive employee in order to get confirmation from his or from him regarding the accurate perception of the problem. The grievance interview has a very important role to play in the grievance handling. Without accurate comprehension, there cannot be accurate evaluation for arriving at the right decision. So, the settlement of all type of conflict and dissatisfaction, grievance handling management is very popular technique for the existing industry. So now we move to the topic which is grievance management or grievance handling management. What it means actually. It is different to find a company where the employees do not have grievance of one kind or the other. The grievances may be real or imaginary, valid or invalid, genuine or false. A grievance procedure and happiness or a grievance produce unhappiness, discontent, indifference, low moral, frustration, etc. Ultimately, its affect employees' concentration, efficiency, and productivity. A measure of the industrial dispute that result in grave representation originate from minor grievance. If such grievances are settled amicably in time, many of the dispute could be prevented. It is the rationale of the mutual acceptability of the grievance procedure. Therefore, grievance procedure is expected to be an effective tool in the toolkit of corporate managers handling manpower as well as human relation in the Indian industry. Grievances are symptom of conflict in the enterprise. So they should be handled very promptly and efficiently. Coping with grievance form an important part of any manager's job. The the manner in which he deals with grievance determine his efficiency of dealing with subordinates. A manager is successful if he is able to build a team of satisfied workers removing their grievance. While dealing with grievance of subordinate, it is necessary to understand the nature of grievance. They are explicit or implied. Expressed grievances are comparatively easy to recognize and are manifested in several ways. That is, gossiping, jealousy, active criticism, argumentation, increased labor turnover, carelessness in the use of tools and materials, ununitedly housekeeping, poor workmanship, etc. These are all examples of implied grievance. Indifference to work, daydreaming, absenteeism, and tiredness are indicator of unexpected or unexpressed grievance. The executive must recognize not only expressed grievance but also notice unexpressed one. In fact, the unexpressed or implied grievance are more serious than the expressed one because it is not known when they may explode. An employee may casually remark that it is too hot in the room or that he had been assigned a job that he does not like. All such casual remarks are grumbling or grievance by implication. Only for a painstaking and observed supervisor it is possible to discover, that is, by close observation, it is possible to discover what is bothering employees before they themselves are aware of grievance. The personnel department can be helpful by training supervisor to become proficient in observing employees. The technique for attitude survey and statistical interpretation of trends of turnover, complaint, transfer, suggestion are also helpful in this connection. The second nature of grievance is valid, legitimate, and rational, or untrue and irrational, or completely lucidus. When a grievance of an employee comes to the notice of management, it cannot usually dismiss it as irritational or untrue. Such grievance also have to be attended to by the management in the same way as a rational grievance. We should know that a large part of our behavior is irrational. This may be largely due to our distorted perception. Emotional grievances are based upon sentiment like love, hatred, retracement, anger, envy, fear, etc. Misconception and lack of thinking are the example of our irrational behavior. These grievances are the most difficult to handle. One advantage of giving a wide possible meaning to the term grievance is that the possibility of the manager overlooking any complaint is very much reduced. Even those discontent that have not yet assumed great importance for the complaint and have therefore not moved into the formal procedure channel, such as casual remarks or gramming technical cause called complaint, come within the purview of the grievance handling machinery of the organization and are removed in the course. Opinion survey, group meeting, periodical interview with employees, collective bargaining sessions, and some other means through which we can get information about employees' dissatisfaction before it turns into a grievance. So, this is it for today's class. In our next class, I will talk about steps of grievance handling procedure. Thank you.